Operation status quo. Operation status quo. Prepare to engage. Operation status quo. Ready to engage. Operation status quo. Engaged. Engaged. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Guess what? It's a Wednesday. Do you believe it? I got back on track this week. Heyo! Yeah, that's what we do here on Operation Status Quo, ladies and gentlemen. I was speaking about it last week, saying that for some reason I've been like a day behind, like this whole year so far. Like everything seems like it's a day behind, which is ironic about this week, because this week I feel like I'm a day ahead. Like I thought yesterday was Wednesday, and now I feel like today's Thursday. So it's very confusing for me. I don't understand what's happening with the conjunctions of time and space and the confluence of energies and such, and what 2026 is bringing. We can't even get our days of the week straight. Heyo. Oh, my goodness gracious. But, I do like to be here on a Wednesday. I don't know why. It's just me. I like the consistency of, doing what I do. But in general, it doesn't really matter because I'm coming to you one way or another, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to be here for you, the beautiful people of the world, because I love you out there. And that's what we do here. And that's why Operation Status Quo exists to begin with. I am pete.palma. I am your user-friendly host. This, of course, is Operation Status Quo, the place where we observe the status quo of life. We learn to flow with the status quo of life, and then most importantly, we create our own flow of quo, because that's the only way to go. So what are you doing out there right now to create your own flow of quo? Let me know in the comments below, because if you're not living someone else's, if you're not living your flow, then you're living someone else's flow, and that is the no here on Operation Status Quo. I apologize, my cat's all over my feet here. Let me do this, because I was going to put him on. I got the close cam. Let's see. I have my camera 2 button. I got to go over here. Let's go over here. I got my camera 2 button. Oh, gosh. Where am I here? Do I have... Here, where's camera 2? Here it is. Camera 2. Ladies and gentlemen, here's a little shot of Mr. Miles on the floor. Hey, Mr. Miles. You want to say hello to people? Hey, Mr. Miles. Let's see if we get him. Miles. Hey. Rah. What's up, buddy? What's up, buddy? There he is. You want to say hi to the beautiful people? Oh, there he is. There he is. Part of Operation Status Quo. Where's my applause? He's the heart and soul of Operation Status Quo. Yeah, that's for darn sure. I used to use this close cam a lot more, Where's my close cam? It's the close cam. We want to get real close as we can with the close cam. The close cam. What's going on? I don't really know, but we're using the close cam. Yeah, that's what we do. It's Operation Status Quo. Don't you see how much fun it is? Look at that. That's hilarious. Hey-o. Oh, where am I? Hold on. Did I hit the wrong? There we go. What was that blank one? I must have hit the wrong button. Something. It went blank for a second. But hopefully you were still able to hear me. I don't know if Anyway, I'm sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm hitting a lot of buttons over here. And having a good time. All right, so this is Operation Status Quo. I'm glad you're with me this week, as always. And this is, we're just going to talk. That's what we do. Today is what is today? The 11th of February in the good year 2026. And today's program is entitled, ladies and gentlemen, Meet the Matrix. Yes, indeed. I always talk about here on the show that we're living in I don't always say we're living in a simulation per se. I really just don't believe that our physical world is real, whether people want to go down the exact road of saying it's a mathematical equation and such and all that type of thing. But when you just look at how things progress and operate in our world, it's pretty obvious that things are not as real as they seem, or as real as we take them, as far as face value and the physicality, nature, and all that of what we are experiencing. So, a good example, and I really wasn't even going to talk about this. I literally just thought of this like 2 seconds ago when I was starting. I wasn't going to bring it up, but, the Super Bowl was this past weekend, and I see, the Bad Bunny guy, I guess. Bad Bunny, is that his name? I don't even know these people. I'll be honest with you. I've never even heard of them before, right? And I see everything back and forth on social media and such, as far as the halftime show. This is like a good example of what I'm talking about, is like our world not being real and how we focus our attention in these places that don't make any sense. Think about the amount of energy and effort that's gone into discussing the Super Bowl halftime show, when first of all, the Super Bowl itself is, I don't want to say fake, but rigged, and it's a setup in some regard. However, it is, and you have to remember that no one is going to put up that large amount of money and time and television and that many people's attention and just let it be something natural that happens, or some sort of there's something's going on in how it's presented. And that's what I found interesting too. I didn't really watch, I wouldn't watch anything that's on the halftime show. I know they had something else you could switch to watch the All-American halftime show with, who was doing that one? I heard Bon Jovi's name. I don't know, but it was Kid Rock, right? And I don't know who else was playing, I guess, on the all-time, the American halftime show. It's just so stupid. It's just so stupid, the whole thing. Really, what I'm saying about it is just so dumb that people put their time and energy into like really, really getting into it and feeling the emotion. And then the whole Bad Bunny thing and all these people going on talking about how great of a show it was and the messages he was sending, the positive. I don't know. Then the other people talking about it was a disgrace. He's singing in Spanish and this is America, which I don't understand why we should even argue over that stuff kind of too in a way. That just shows you how dumb, that's why you shouldn't even believe the American side of things, right? That's the whole point that I always try to make, is we have to remember that the whole kit and caboodle, if you would, is a bunch of nonsense and propaganda on all sides. So they're just trying to, meet the needs of the demographic that they want to suit for whatever messages they want to, program into your brain. But now I heard when I was looking through stuff that that the Bad Bunny, I guess when he was singing there in Spanish, apparently was very lewd lyrics, about getting your panties and the P word for the female genitalia, as well as the D word for the male genitalia, and all this kind of stuff. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't really speak Spanish. I don't even know enough of the dirty words, I guess, to realize if that was actually true or not. But I guess you can go back and translate it. It's to me, it's what's so funny about it too, with social media and all the things, and how true it is, right? This is kind of encompassing the point of I'm making, that everything is really a matrix in a sense. The matrix really is just the fact that we exist. And right, the matrix really is just the fact not only that we exist, but where our attention is placed. Because remember, I always talk about, really, it comes down to what you focus your attention on is what becomes energized in your life, what becomes the focus of your reality, your day to day. So how we're misled to go down these roads of the hype of something like the Super Bowl and the halftime show and all the, God knows what subliminal messages were, all that. I saw a little bit of it. He was walking around going all these different, I don't know if it was supposed to represent different cultures, I guess, talking about everybody's one. And, then I see these people talking about, it was such a beautiful expression of art and this and that and the other. And, I don't know, I didn't think it was really that good at all anyway. But on top of it, they're saying how great of an expression it is of art and all this stuff. And then I'm seeing all this stuff of people saying that everything he was saying was this lewd, dirty words. And I don't know. If it was true, there's a lot of people that speak Spanish in this country. Don't you think that would be a story more so, that he was why is that not on the news? I'm not saying it's not true, but the news is never going to really tell you anything of what's really going on. I don't know. It's just an odd thing to me. It's like our world is so crazy now with the AI and the technology and the social media. You literally don't know what is real. And when I was watching, the one thing that really stood out to me when I was watching a little bit of the halftime show is that when he was up there singing, and you could see, the crowd in the background. And I'll tell you, I just got this gut feeling. I didn't believe that. I'm not saying that a show didn't take place and that, because I know people went to the Super Bowl, so I'm sure they were there and they saw whatever performance was put in front of them. But I don't think what we saw on television was what might have been happening there in the stadium, because, the whole background didn't even look real. It didn't even look like real people in the background. It was a very, I picked up on it right away. And something's not right about this. It doesn't even look, real. So again, we don't even know what we're seeing and what we're being fed. It's every which way. And again, with the technologies and everything that it's gotten into such a cluster bleep of information that you don't even know. Just like isn't it really amazing though? Like I would like to just say, isn't it amazing with times we're living in and how things are and what we're seeing and not seeing? Like we don't even really know what the actual truths are, but like this machine that of information, if you want to say it that way, is pumping out so much that you can't even really get a grip on what is stable and what is real, what's true, what's not true. And interesting, just as I'm saying that, because this is the live stream of consciousness, by the way. A lot, I just kind of just say what's kind of on my mind. It's like if anything's on my mind at all, but all the amount of information that's being put forth actually speaks to my point even more in the regard that this world isn't real and everything is a possibility. Really, it comes down to what frequency and vibration you're aligning with as to create the perception of your viewpoint of life. I mean, again, like the possibilities are endless. They talk about all this stuff. It goes so deep, between the technologies that we're not aware of, what's going on underwater, aliens, I mean, everything else that the solar flares. It's just like an endless array of possibilities of anything. And if you really sat and focused on each one of these things all the time, like, are there really ancient cities underwater that we don't know about? And are humans living in cities underwater, military bases underwater that are conducting experiments and stuff, where the earthquakes, some of them really come from, and like all this kind of stuff. Even with that Lahaina thing, what was that, a year or so ago in Hawaii over there, and how they talked about that was a direct energy weapon, not necessarily, that wasn't just like a fire started and it happened to be a windstorm, all this nonsense, right? Even back, if you want to go back, which hurricane was it back it was Sandy, right? Hurricane Sandy years ago that went up the East Coast and then just made a left turn and when it crashed into Jersey. It's like, what I'm just trying to say is, like, people just take everything for granted, like, oh, wow, that's something that happened. Oh, that's interesting. But you don't really know the full array. And then people won't believe in things outside of what they're already conditioned to believe because, it shakes the foundation of everything that they already believe, which means they would have to think in a different way and be open to different possibilities. And that becomes quite the conundrum when you're not really open to exploring what else is possible. Fortunately for me, I really like the idea of nothing being real in a sense, because it just opens up so many doors and opportunities for creating. I mean, it's not even that it opens doors. It's just a realization. It's just a realization of, we are the creators, and we are not even individually. We are creators, but as one consciousness, we are the creators as well. Like there's no separation between any of us. I talk about that a lot, right? Of course, it appears that way because I'm here, sitting here, talking to you. You might be listening. You might not. I don't know. And then the next thing you know, here they come, because they don't like what I'm talking about and the messages that I'm trying to send. Yo, get that helicopter out of here. Yeah, and I just like it opens up a lot of opportunities for, well, again, doesn't necessarily open up opportunities. You being aware that there's so much more than what we are, really just is the only opportunity for true freedom and happiness in this life. Because ultimately, there's always going to be a power play of energies. There's all the possibilities are going to be there. There's going to be famine. There's going to be, war, there's going to be peace, there's going to be love, there's going to be hate, there's going to be, right? It's good. All the facets of possibilities will be there in one regard or another. And each situation, in a sense, has little pieces of those facets, right? Even if it's a war situation that seems so evil and horrible and they're blowing things up. But I'm sure somewhere in that situation, there are people that come together, that build something, that creates something beautiful, because the turmoil of what they experienced in that negative situation, or what is perceived as negative situation, encouraged or pushed them or helped them to create something better from it, and that's part of the whole game, and that's the whole idea of everything that's going on. Like I just speak on it so much because our world is so, it's so crazy right now where everybody is. And on top of it is that, not only is the information becoming more intense and rapid in its distribution or whatever you want to say, but the population that is consuming it is like going down a notch, like going back to Bad Bunny, the people watch that crap and they're enthralled by it. It's like, oh, what a great artist, Bad Bunny. It's like, who is this guy? Like, where did he even come from? So, I don't know. It's just and people put like, what I'm saying is like, he's a nothing in a sense. Like, we're all, but because they create the image of this guy being this and it's at the Super Bowl, then everybody just accepts that he's the one, he's great. Or, it's just a weird thing. Like, they could have they could go grab Joe Schmo down the street who runs, a taco stand, and it's Joe Taco is going to go up there today and sing a song. And if they told a story about Joe Taco and he came to this country with nothing and built a taco stand and helped all his neighbors and and they built a whole storyline and dressed him up and put him up there, Joe Taco would be a hero. Don't you see what I'm saying? It's all a mind bleep. It's like Joe Taco's the hero. Where's Joe Taco? Hey-o. Hey-o. It's like, I don't know. Excuse me. That's how I feel about it. Anyway, it's like our world is really just and I say all these things too because there's so much coming down, and people put so much pressure on themselves of what they hear. They have a lot of fear in what could be happening as far as changes to our structures and systems and world. But these structures and systems have to change for the better to come. And even within the better, there'll still be things that are negative, but right? It's just that spiral that just keeps going up, and you're always in certain patterns, but the spiral just keeps going up. So as the bad that was here, even though it's still the same as you go up, at least that level of bad, might be a little bit less, a little more compassionate and not as barbaric as some of the levels of bad that are here. Even the stuff with the Epstein files and all, that's how crazy is that in a sense? Like, just think about as a civilization, as human beings, whatever. I just want to try to say this. It's like I got stuck on my own. I was going to say if it's all true, but whatever, true or not true, what I'm trying to say is something as grand as this story, a guy that has they look at it as it's just maybe some he had some sexual miscalculations in his life or whatever, but it's so much bigger than that. It's like all the politicians, it's all the business people, it's like everything, right? And what I'm saying is, if it was, I'm not saying it's not real, just saying, why as us as a population would we not act on something that if we really knew that, and which we do really, know the level of the pedophilia and all these things that are going on, these satanic rituals. And I don't even want to get heavy on it like that, but it's a facet, it exists, and it's being shown. So if it was all real, the people who believe in leaders on either side, if anybody cared, if it was all real in any capacity whatsoever, people would do something about it. You know what I'm saying? How do we still live in a world where people are oh yeah, I heard about that. But you're so engrossed in, binge watching something on Netflix. I know I pick on Netflix and stuff all the time, and it's not about you don't enjoy watching a TV show or something, but the truth is people are just they just disengage from out here, and they're engaged, and they're looking for something to distract themselves from even knowing that they're alive, right? That to even think of something that could do like the whole life is programmed from day one, as far as, right, you go to school, work, blah, 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 the structure of society. You go to a ball game once in a while, you go to a movie once in a while, you go on a vacation once in a while. I don't know, like, it's just this whole structure of like how you're supposed to have a house, how you're supposed to live, how you're supposed to eat. It's like it's already, it's like just so ingrained and programmed in that you never even think of like, well, what if like we just lived a whole different way? Like, and I'm not saying we should or shouldn't. All I'm saying is, why are we not open to it, and why as a society are we not encouraging each other to do whatever it is that, I mean, the ideas are endless. People should embrace each other for beautiful ideas and opportunities to do things in a different way. They should be encouraging each other. Wow, that's such a interesting, concept. How could that be incorporated into the totality of how we all operate? Not everybody has to do the same thing. Some people want to do this, some people want to do that, whatever. It's all good, but it's like, but everybody's got these blinders on and they're entrenched in just like distractions of nothing. And they're dumbed down over the course of generations. We've just been dumbed down in these. I'm not picking on like some of the younger people. I mean, it's everybody. It just depends where you put your attention. There's plenty of younger people that have a good head on their shoulders and are, want to do things. But at the same time, there's so many people are just so detached from anything. That grew up with especially some of the younger, because they grew up with the technology in a different way than some of the older generations. You grow up with a phone and iPad and everything else in your face, like from day one. It's like you don't even, you're already in the matrix. You're in the matrix on top of being in the matrix. It's like you're not even, there's no separation. At least you're in the matrix as your human life, but I mean the matrix itself is interacting with almost like a gaming system. But now not only are you in the matrix, which is kind of like a gaming system, on top of it, your physicality in the gaming system is entrenched into another level of being in a gaming system, distracting your attention from your own physicality and presence in the moment of the game you're already in. It's like you're like one game into the next game. It's like the Russian doll thing. You open the one and then there's a smaller one there. You open that one, there's a smaller one, and it just keeps going until you just freaking disappear. Hey-oh. Oh man. I don't know. That's just what I was thinking today, basically. Like I was going to start. I had this thing maybe to read about are we living in a matrix or not. I ain't going to get into it now because like I kind of you can think whatever you want. Living in a matrix, not living in a matrix. We are living in a matrix. However they want to describe it, as far as what the matrix may or may not be. But to me, like the matrix is like it's just a projection. It's really just another term for physicality and duality and stuff. It's a program. It's a projection of an energy that creates, but at the same time, it starts its own pieces. The humanity's consciousness is the first piece, and that awareness, is projected out. But it's all everything is a oneness. There's no, you know what I'm saying? But everybody, and I'm just going to kind of bring it back because. I was talking about like the Super Bowl and all those type of things and how people are so entrenched in our political issues and our social issues and everything that are going on today, which is fine. Like it's fine that things inspire people to take a stand in certain ways and want to see change in certain ways. But I also think people are horribly misled because the social justice issues are really a part of social engineering that come from another way. They create the division. They create the situations. Again, going back to like the Epstein and stuff, this stuff comes out that this guy is not only, whatever with children, women, everything, all this stuff, Satan, I don't know, aliens, whatever. And then he's also, the whole banking system is revolved around him and everything else. But nobody gives a shit. It's just like, oh yeah, that guy, the guy who killed himself. Yeah, the guy who killed himself. You think he's dead? Is he dead? Right? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like no one even cares. It's like you understand, like what you're talking about of things that are going. Don't you even understand that the level of how you're being tricked? Like even whoever you like or dislike politically or. Even social figures, whether it be business people or entertainers and stuff, whatever you feel about any of these people one way or another, don't you feel like you should be insulted is how I feel that they that they are taking such a presence in your life of emotion to, when the truth is they're the ones. That level up there is putting those people in those places to elicit those emotions to begin with. Like, just to speak on, Mr. T over there, it's easy to dislike him, right? I'm just saying, like, I don't care one way or the other. I always find him funny, even though because I don't care about politics or anything like that. He's an interesting character, and like I always say, he's really just the catalyst for bringing these emotions up for the change. But and I'm speaking kind of both sides, because I don't want to make it like I do think the whole conglomerate at the top is together. Like, there's no separation between any of those people at that type of level. They're all in the same game. Now, who's chosen for what reasons, for what is beyond our understanding, to play these roles in the physical game for the changes and for the growth of humanity, however all that works out. But at the end of it, your people are taking their life force and energy to put into how they feel about these people and figures and situations that, like, the truth is, like, if you want kindness in the world, then, live it from your heart, be kind and show kindness. You don't want to see people be vengeful and jealous. Then when situations come up in your life where, you have an opportunity to be vengeful or jealous, or you feel there's justification in those feelings for something that happened, that's your opportunity not to project that back, to say, well, this situation here really drives me to want to get back at this and say something or do something, but I don't have to, because I don't want to feed what that is. I'm recognizing it. So that's how I try to look at what everything that's happening, instead of focusing on individuals and situations and just saying like it's not going to get any better. Like, if this system stays the same, it doesn't matter whether it's Mr. T or the next guy or the next guy or the next guy. It doesn't matter, because they're all evil. like even the Clintons. Like, I just saying, everybody, you think they're nice people, really? I mean, how many stories over the years that the Clinton crime family, how many people have died because they've spoken out against them or did something? You think they're like just these nice people that really care about America and democracy? I just get a kick out of all this stupid political crap, and people are so dumb. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little emotional. But they're just so dumb. It's like, oh, this is a threat to our democracy. You're like, oh shit. It's like, there is no democracy. I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, the only freedom is, from within yourself. The only freedom is to get away from a system that's designed to oppress and keep you penned in and keep you programmed in these ways. Everything I'm talking about, like the social engineering, that what they do, even going back to stuff like, Martin Luther King and killing him and everything, right? I'm just saying, like, these are all like programming tools. Of course, it's going to create people to stand up and say, we want freedom and everything. And it's just the way they play up everything. Even like the Civil War, they make it like this whole holier than thou thing, that they're, freeing slaves. Is that really what it was really about, or what? I'm saying, because like at the end of the day, I mean, that's a whole nother situation. I'm not trying to make light of people that, in that regard. But the truth is, we're all slaves anyway. Like, socioeconomic, this whole, you're a slave to this system. You're a slave to having to like do things in a certain way to get by. You have to interact with these systems and groups and whatever, bureaucracies and stuff. You have to interact in a certain way to live in this world. That's not freedom, is what I'm saying. And there should be, like, life should be just an expression. There's no lack. There's nothing that you can't have. There's nothing that can't be done. And I just want to go back to it again. Why would they not make a big deal, emergency alert, Epstein files, emergency alert? Why would they not make it like an all hands on deck? Everything's being exposed. We're getting to the bottom of this. And this thing happened. When did he first get arrested? I don't know, was it like 2008? So it's like, how many freaking years does it take for people just to be honest and say, this is what's what? And on top of that, even for people, more so too, for people to step up and say, I'm not going to give my energy into your bullshit. Like, I'm not going to give myself away to a system that you're creating that is not, that is not for the best of what humanity is. So I don't know. But that's what again, that's part of the Matrix. That's part of it. All right. Man, I really went off. Hey-o. And I didn't have anything to say. I was happy to. Where's my cat? Let's go back to the close cam one more time there he is, Mr. Miles. Yes, give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. He's really loving the show. You can see he's really getting into it. Yeah, he is. There he is. Hey-o. Oh, my gosh. But anyway, I thought I hit the... Anyway, so, yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, a Matrix, meet the Matrix, because the Matrix is all of it, and we have the choices to live how we want to live. That's what Operation Status Quo is all about. It's just kind of talking and thinking and looking at things in a different way. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I'm just going to leave it at this. I'm not trying to be like we just sit on a mountaintop and go all day long, or right. I'm saying we got to live. We should enjoy human life. We should have fun. We should go skydiving or mountain climbing or deep sea diving. I don't know. Like we should just whatever. There's so many things to do. We should have fun. We should embrace cooking and creating and I don't know, just everything. But at the same time, it's all usurped. The beauty and the essence of humanity is usurped by these powers that create an upside down version. They take all those things and invert it in a sense, right? They take all the things that are, beautiful, the things that touch your heart, and they twist it and utilize it to program your mind with their own issues and ways that they want population to go. And it's up to us to say, no, we're not going to do it. We're just not going to do it, and let those structures fade away. They'll fade away if we don't give to it and we don't put energy into it. The Matrix will adjust itself and we'll have a better Matrix, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we'll have a better Matrix. That's what we need. Yeah. Hey-o. I've been messing with the harmonica more. I think I'm getting a little bit better. That's what I got for you here today on Operation Status Quo, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for your time. I always appreciate you being here. If you haven't done so already, please take the time to like, subscribe, share, send this out to your friends, your family, those you love, and of course, those you despise as well. As you very well know, I love each and every one of you out there individually as well as a group. God bless you. And of course, until next time, Operation Status Quo, disengaged.